Good morning, good morning. Danielle Hayden here with the Hayden Group and Keller Williams Ann Arbor. And today is Friday, March 27th, 2020. This is our coronavirus real estate update. We do this daily just to make sure that we're keeping folks across the nation and in real estate well informed about what we're experiencing here in Michigan. So let's dive in. So, don't touch your face. Um, so Yesterday, I did a video where I was calling around and I, unfortunately, using YouTube Studio as like an editor, I couldn't figure out how to cut out a lot of the fluff in yesterday's video. But I called around to all of the pendings and under contracts. And what I quickly discovered was that only 2 homes had gone under contract since the governor's executive order to stay in place in Washtenaw County. And one of those homes had been seen previously by 4 parties and went under contract shortly after the order. So that one was sort of business as usual. The other one is the only property that has been shown and sold in Washtenaw County since the executive order. It was in Ann Arbor, and the way that that one worked is the driver drove by the property, liked the property enough to contact his or her agent and say, I want to see the property. And then the 2 agents got together to discuss it. And what ended up happening was the buyer met the seller at the property. The seller, I believe, came out of the property with all the lights on and the doors open. The buyer went into the property, not having to touch any surfaces, never coming within 6 feet of anyone else, walked through the home and then left, called their agent and said, yes, I'd like to write an offer. So this was the one property that has successfully gone under contract in our county that I am aware of. Also, I sent out a survey yesterday because there's a lot of information flying out around there about how we're going to continue to conduct business. Seems like active transactions that are under contract are now moving forward. Even the county has now opened up for e-recording, which is completely new to us. And they've opened up for e-recording in a limited way. The only thing we still have not heard about is the time of sale program with our county, which is the authorization to transfer property, because it's been through the well and septic inspection phase and approved by the county. So well and septic inspections are happening, but the county is not open to approve them. So we're hoping to hear more on that. Many of you have heard me talk about this mysterious addendum that is supposedly floating around to allow them to close on the property and then get the time of sale afterwards. I personally am not advising my clients to do this because in my opinion, like, what if the county says, you know what, there's something wrong here, or this septic tank is too small for this house, it's old and outdated. I don't see how you can remedy that after closing. You can't even, you're moved in, you think you own the property, you go to record the deed and you can't record the deed because the county wants action to be done on the well and septic. So you don't even own the property and now you're in it. The seller has their money. I mean, it's just a mess. I don't understand how that could possibly work. So, I'm just advising my well and septic people to hold tight for right now. We're signing a COVID-19 addendum to give them a little bit more extension. So that sort of catches you up in terms of what I do know. This also gave me a reason to dig into my agent database. I've got a database of local agents in the area that I typically use to market my properties to, but this is a really great time, I think, to reach out to that database and to try to set a tone of working together and cooperating to demystify what is and is not going on out there in real estate. There's a lot of talk online about continuing to list homes, getting the listing appointment. And so what I want to know, and doing like virtual showings and such, what I want to know is how can I, as a fiduciary, turn and inform one of my clients that was planning on listing their home, and they're asking me, you know, well, what are the chances of someone actually offering on my property sight unseen? And buyers are asking me, well, can I see the property? How does that work? And so I figured, you know what, let's just cut to the chase and get straight to the sources and see people who are doing virtual tours. How are they doing it? How is it working? Are they getting any offers? Because frankly, if you're not getting offers because the buyer confidence isn't there, then why are we putting our sellers through that, you know, unless they are completely aware that they're taking just a chance and having days on market, you know, accumulate and, you know, it may not work out for them. So I sent out a survey to about 1,000 local realtors yesterday. And you know what? I guess let's just pull this open and see if we can see our responses here. While I pull this open, I only have a few minutes because at 8:45 I am going to be doing my team leader duties. I've decided that at 8:45 to 9 o'clock every day, we're going to take this opportunity with my market specialist to go ahead and do some script practice and role play and make sure that we are really honing those scripts during this halftime of the spring market. So I'm really excited about that. That starts in about 5 minutes, so we'll have to be somewhat quick here. So the survey I did was through MailChimp. We do pay $60 a month, which is, they charge you based on the size of your database. All right, so many notifications, accept all cookies. Okay, so we're gonna log into MailChimp really quick, and we're just gonna see if we can access the results of our survey here. But we sent this out, yesterday. And we made it on MailChimp. They have like create a survey, and then you can send out an email campaign to an audience and include your survey in there. So let's just see. Bear with me here. I'm trying to find out where I see the responses to my surveys. Aha, I was in the wrong audience. When you go into campaigns, you're going to want to make sure you're in the right audience. So I had 269 opens and 48 clicks on this puppy. So just so you know what we asked, have you put a listing under contract since Tuesday morning this week? If so, did the buyer see the property in person before deciding to offer? Have you put a buyer under contract since Tuesday morning this week? Also, if so, did the buyer see the property in person before deciding to offer? How many of your active listings have decided to withdraw or temporarily withdraw since Tuesday? How many of your listings have decided to remain active? How many of your coming soon listings have decided to postpone until the executive order is lifted? Excuse me. How many of your coming soons have decided to continue to list during the executive order? How many of your active buyers are willing to purchase sight unseen through virtual showings? Are inquiries from your buyers or buyer agents way up, average, down, way down, not applicable? And then what methods are you finding most successful to sell a property right now? And there's all kinds of different virtual showing methods, or using the sellers to do FaceTime. Then I ask which has been the most effective. Please provide your contact info if you wish to communicate about best practices during this time, and what brokerage are you with? So now what I'm trying to do is, you can do view report. Let's see if this is where we find the survey results. 55 total clicks, 48 unique clicks. I'm gonna have to come back to this later. I don't really know what the results are, but I'll find them and then I'll report them back to you later. That's no big deal. So the other thing I just wanna make sure to mention right now to y'all is there's a difference between doing activities and doing the activities that matter. So I'm trying to go into this period of time where we're stuck in the house, and I'm trying to really make sure I identify how I want to use this period of time. And I know a lot of that is going to be really tightening up our buying and selling guides and our processes, and going, creating all of our videos for the, to educate our clients about the buying and selling process, and starting to really bulk up that database, putting content on there for not just client education on the YouTube channel, but also agent education. But there's also, you have to remember, that's not a dollar producing activity, at least not an immediate one. And so I'm really having to be cognizant to make sure that my daily schedule reflects some personal time, first of all, to get your head on straight, to make sure you're taking care of yourself, a little walk in the morning, or, some exercise. Second off, my duties as a leader, I can't just disappear on my people. And so my market specialist specifically, I want to use this time to really help dial in on some of the gaps that she has and some of the skills that she wants to acquire. And then from 9 to 11 every day, it's got to be the dollar producing activity. Even though it's not asking for the appointment, it's got to be the phone calls. It's got to be the relationship building. It's got to be touching base with your clients that were going to be active buyers and sellers, to just keep them educated and keep that connection going. And then I can start to fill my day in with like the things that actually excite me about what I want to use this time for, which is primarily the YouTube channel. So I hope this morning check-in helps you. The last thing I want to mention to you is I did speak with an inspector yesterday who got my survey. And the response from the inspector was that he typically does 500 inspections a year in Michigan. So that's 10 a week, roughly-ish, okay? And since the executive order, he has not had a single order for inspections placed with him in Michigan. And he's still doing work down in Ohio, and they're under an executive order as well, but they have been deemed an essential service, and we have not. And so his business in Michigan has completely dried up overnight. So that kind of just goes to show you, we could talk about virtual showings all we want, and properties right now are not moving. So it's really important to just know what the current landscape is and track it, follow it. So thank you so much, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. And let me know in the comment section if you have any questions or if there's something specific you want to learn about. Thanks. Bye.